Hello everyone and good evening. How are you all? Let's wait for a few seconds till everybody joins. So tell me in the comments, am I audible? Is the audio clear? Is the video clear? And give me a thumbs up if everything is good, if audio and video is all good. Then we'll start our class. As you guys already know, we are dealing with the mapping part of Africa and we are done with the political map of Africa. Hello Dua. Give me a thumbs up if everything is good. Am I audible? Thank you. Good evening, good evening. So we are doing the mapping of African continent and we are already done with the political map of Africa. Today we'll be doing the physical map of the continent of Africa. What is a physical map? As you know already, in the political map we discussed about the countries and other things, the borders, capitals and some very important cities as well. But today we'll deal with the physical factors like mountains, rivers, lakes, deserts and many other things. So today's class is going to be very important because in today's class we are going to end all the physical features. So have some patience today. Today is going to be, maybe it might be a bit longer. So let us start today's class. Now if we look at the class for today, you look at these questions. These questions are some of the questions that I've got for you and we'll be discussing these questions at the end of the class. So stay with me so that we do these things at the end of the class. Now, what is in the physical features of a map? Deserts, mountains, lakes, rivers, grasslands. If you look at the map of Africa, you will find a lot of these things. You have Sahara Desert there, you will have the green area in the Congo basin, then you will have mountains, then lakes, there are a lot of lakes. So today we'll be doing all of these starting with the deserts. Well, when you look at the map of Africa, what is the first thing? When you hear of the word Africa, the continent Africa, what's the... Hello Sharmi, what do you think of the first thing that comes in your mind? Obviously, it's Sahara because it is the world's largest hot desert. So that is from where we're going to start today, the deserts. That will be our first physical feature in the map, the deserts. When you look at this map, we have already done the political map of Africa. So you are aware of these countries that are written here. So the Sahara Desert is a part of all of these countries. So it spreads across at least 10 countries. Naming a few, like you have Algeria, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan, Egypt and Libya. These are some of the countries that are there as a part of Sahara Desert. So it is more than 5,000 kilometers going from west towards east. So this covers an area of around 5,000 kilometers. Okay, this is the length of the Sahara Desert and it includes the 10 countries. And very important, it is the world's largest hot desert. Make sure you remember the word hot desert, not the desert. It's the world's largest hot desert. So this is about Sahara. So these are the countries that are included in the Sahara. Now, if you look at this map, you will find after we go towards the south of Sahara Desert, it is not that all of a sudden the desert will end and the greenery will start or the forests or some other things will start. But there will be a zone in between that is called as Sahel. So we will find Sahel region in the south. So if you're ever asked what is Sahel region, you will find that there is a Sahel region in the south region of the Sahara Desert. Now, is there something important about Sahara that you need to know? Yes, you need to remember a couple of points that I want to mention here. When we talk of Sahara Desert, there is a concept called ERG. What does it mean? ERG. It is the sandy part of the Sahara Desert. So this area, usually the west part of the Sahara Desert is more sandy. So this is called as the ERG. ERG, what is an ERG? It is the sandy part. And then you have Hamada, Hamada. What is Hamada? Hamada is the stony or the rocky part of the Sahara Desert. Okay, so talking of ERG and Hamada, it's the sandy part and the stony part. Now, as we know, we are done with the Sahara Desert. Now we move towards the Sahel. These are some of the points that I already mentioned. It's the hottest desert, 5,000 kilometers. Then we have ERG and Hamada. Now we'll go towards the southern part of this. So this is the region that we're discussing already, the Sahara. When we go towards the southern part of the Sahara Desert, we'll find there is a region called Sahel. As I already told you, it's a mixture of desert and the other landforms. You'll find some small trees in these regions, shrubs in these regions. There is not a rapid transition from a desert to this region, but there is a region called Sahel, which has a very distinct vegetation in it. Now, why is this region very important? You see, it is extending from west towards east, containing the countries of Senegal, Mali, Niger. You know about the political features. So these are some of the countries that consists of Sahel. Now, why is Sahel that important? Because of a project that's going on in the African continent. It is the Great Green Wall. Very important because of the environmental issues going on right now in the African continent. Maybe the desertification or the extent of the Sahara Desert might go towards the south. That is why there is the Great Green Wall. They have decided to plant millions of trees in this region so that the desertification or the spread of Sahara is controlled. That is number one. Number two, the main aim is by 2030 they plant more than 100 million hectares of land is restored. So they plant so many trees that 100 million hectares, just imagine the size of the land, 100 million hectares of land is restored. Number one. And number two, that will sequester around 250 million tons of carbon. When you restore that much of land, then 250 million tons of carbon will be sequestered and it will generate employment as well. So these are some of the very important points about the Sahel region because of the Great Green Wall. So if there is a question about the Great Green Wall, you should be able to answer these things, where the Great Green Wall lies and what is the importance of the Great Green Wall. So these are some of the points about the Sahel region. Now, moving towards the other parts of other deserts of the country, I'll just mark them because there is nothing important about these. There is one important desert, that is the Libyan Desert. So it's very obvious, the name suggests it will be present in Libya, number one. Number two, you'll find the Nubian Desert. It is present in Sudan. Okay, if you know about the political map, then this is the Sudan. This is the country of Sudan. You have Libyan Desert, Nubian Desert, then you will have some important deserts. That is the Namib Desert here towards the south. It is located in Namibia. And then very important, Kalahari Desert. Kalahari Desert is located in Botswana. Don't get confused between the deserts. It's very simple. You just have to know about the countries that they are predominantly found in. If you talk of the Nubian Desert, don't confuse it with the Namib Desert because the both start with N. Namib Desert is different and Nubian Desert is different. Nubian Desert is in Sudan and Namib Desert is in Namibia. Then we talk of Kalahari Desert. It's in Botswana and there is a very ancient and a very famous tribe that lives in the Kalahari Desert. What is the name of the tribe? Anybody in the comments? It is known as Bushman. Bushman tribe is found in the Kalahari Desert, that's in Botswana. So these are some of the deserts that you needed to know. More importantly, the Sahara Desert. Coming to other deserts, there's mountains. The mountains that are present in the African continent. Starting with the first, that is the Atlas Mountains. If you look at the Atlas Mountains, what do you think their location is? Right, that's correct, Zainab. Okay, please do tell me in the comments if it's visible. See, this is the Atlas Mountains. It is located in the northern part, and if you are aware about the political or the countries that are there in the mountains in the African continent, then this is located, this area is Morocco, Algeria. These are the countries that are there. So about the Atlas Mountains, these are located in the Morocco and the Algerian regions. These are the fold mountains. What are the fold mountains? There is a class going on the mountains, how they are formed, that is already going on in my geography course. You can learn from the there what are the fold mountains and what are block mountains. I already taught it there. So Atlas is a type of a fold mountain. It's a mountain range that's found in the northern part of the Africa. Very important. It's a very important range that you have to remember. Then there is one important mountain, that is Hogar Mountain. Here it is located again in Algeria. There are a lot of mountains that are present in Africa, but we'll only be discussing those that are very important. So don't think about we are missing something. These are the important mountains. The Hogar Mountain is very important. It is located in the Algeria. Then you have Tibesti mountain here. Tibesti mountain lies along the border of Libya and Chad. Okay, so Libya is located towards the northern part, and then you have Chad. The mountain that lies in between is Chad, is Tibesti mountain. So make sure you know about this. Hello. So I make sure you know about this, because this can be asked as a question. Which is the mountain that lies on the border of Libya and Chad? So it is the Tibesti mountain. Then going towards another important mountain, that is Mount Cameroon. It is located in the Cameroon. Cameroon is a country. Named the mountain named as Mount Cameroon. Why is it important? Because it is the only active volcanic mountain in African continent right now. Okay, Mount Cameroon is the only active volcanic mountain in the African continent. So what is the name? Mount Cameroon. So this was another mountain. Now moving towards the other mountains, if we look at other mountains, then you will have Mount Kenya, number 1. Mount Kenya is located, as the name suggests, it is located in Kenya, and it is the second highest African mountain. Second highest, not the first. Second highest mountain in Africa, and it's located in Kenya. Know about the locations. If you have any question about the locations, please ask me in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer you there. But make sure you know about the locations, because in Africa you will get the location based questions. So Mount Kenya is in Kenya, it's very easy. Then you have very important Mount Kilimanjaro. It is the highest peak in Africa. It is the highest mountain. It is the first or the highest mountain in Africa. Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa, located in Tanzania. Okay, it is located in Tanzania. Know about the location as well. I am sure you know about the locations, because we have already done the political map. So this is Mount Kilimanjaro. This is Mount Kenya, located in Tanzania. And then we have some other peaks like Drakensberg. Important. Why? Because it's a type of a residual mountain. That means is there any shortcut to remember the map? There is not a shortcut to remember the map, but I'll make sure you memorize it here only. I will revise it multiple times, but I'm picking up only those things that are very highly possible to be asked in the exam. We'll not discuss everything, because if we teach all the mountains that are in Africa, then it will become very lengthy and very bulky. So I'm taking only the important ones, like the Mount Kilimanjaro. Why are we talking about it? Because it's the highest in Africa. And other important thing, it is extinct volcano. It's already extinct. Okay, which was the active volcano that I just discussed? Please tell me in the comments. I just mentioned about the active volcanic mountain that is located in Africa. Show me your presence in the comments. Then we're talking about Drakensberg. It's located in South Africa. South Africa. It's located in South Africa. That's Mount Drakensberg. So this is about the mountains that are located in the Africa. Some of the important mountains that are likely to be asked in the exams. So then these are some of the points that I already mentioned. If you talk of the Atlas Mountains located, you know about the location, Morocco and other places. Mount Kenya, you know, second highest peak in Africa. Correct, Zanab. Then we have Mount Kilimanjaro. It's again the highest peak. It's extinct volcano Drakensberg. And we have Mount Cameroon. That is the only active volcano that is located in Africa. Now we go towards the very important lakes of Africa. Why are they important? Because there are many lakes that we have to remember. We have to memorize them, because this is most likely going to be asked, because the lakes of Africa are everywhere in question nowadays, like the Lake Chad or the Rift Valley of Africa. If you don't know about the Rift Valley of Africa, then let me give you a brief idea of that. The African continent is splitting because of the plate movement or the plate tectonics. The African continent is splitting, and there is a rift valley that is being created, and that's filled by the water. So there are some lakes that are there. We have to know which are the Rift Valley lakes and which are not. That is why we're going to start with the lakes of Suez. This is the Suez Peninsula, and you know, if we zoom it, this is a place from where the Suez Canal passes. This is located in Egypt. Suez is a part of Egypt. So if you look at this map right now, you will figure out there are some of the very important. As you know about the port side, this is already taught when we're teaching the political map. So this is the port side. Then talking of some important lakes, remember it in the sequence from north to south. Starting from north, you will have Lake Timsha. Memorize it like in the sequence from north to south. You have Lake Timsha. then you will have Great Bitter Lake, and then Small Bitter Lake. These three, Lake Timsha, T, then Great Bitter Lake, then Small Bitter Lake, going from north towards south, are part of the Suez, or the Suez Canal passes through this place. This is how the things go on. This is about the lakes of the... Now, this map is very important. Just feel the map first, then we'll go forward, because these are the number of the lakes that are present in Africa. So we will learn them one by one and understand why they are important. Lake Naser, Lake Turkana, these are all the lakes that we're going to discuss one by one, and make sure you memorize them here, and they are very important. Don't think that they are not important. They are important. That is why I'm teaching you all this. Otherwise, why would I teach all this? Okay. Starting with Lake Nasser, if we talk of Lake Nasser, it is located in Egypt. Look at the location of the lake, it is here. This is Lake Nasser, it is located in Egypt, southern part of the Egypt. What's important about this lake? If you look at this, you will find the river Nile passing through it. The Nile river passes through Lake Nasser, and there is a very important dam called as the Aswan Dam. So what are the things that you need to remember about Lake Nasser? Number one, it's present in Egypt. Number two, Nile passes through it. River Nile, as you know, it's the longest river. Don't get confused between the longest and the largest. It is the longest river, that is River Nile. And finally, you will find there is a dam, that is Aswan Dam, that is present on the lake. So these are some of the things that you need to know about Lake Nasser. Going to our next lake, that is Lake Tana. It is present in Ethiopia again. Why is it important? Because it's an origin of one river, that is Blue Nile. When we talk of the river Nile, it is not initially, does not start like the river Nile. We'll discuss it when we reach the rivers. So know that it's the source of the Blue Nile. Lake Tana, that is located in Ethiopia. That is very important location. Ethiopia, that is the country, and it is located in Ethiopia. That is Lake Tana, source of Blue Nile. Then we talk of another lake, that's Lake Assal. It's located in Djibouti. Okay, you might feel it a bit bulky, but you have to memorize these. These are very important. As I already mentioned, Lake Nasser is very important because of the dam, that's the Aswan Dam, or the Nile. Then you have Blue Nile. The source of Blue Nile is again Lake Tana. Then you have Lake Asila as well. So these are very important. Then we reach the very important point of our topic today. That is the Rift Valley lakes. They are very important, and you have to remember them all. So this is very important. I'll tell you why. Because of the split that is going on right now in Africa. Because the continent is splitting, that is the reason there are formation of lakes, and that is why we have to memorize each and every one of them. If you look at this, there is a kind of a rift going on like this. It's breaking. You can feel like it's breaking. Okay. That is what a Rift Valley lake is. So give me a thumbs up in the comments if up until now you don't have any confusion, so that we can move to the Rift Valley lakes. Starting with the first, that is Lake Turkana. Where is Lake Turkana located? It is located in Kenya. Okay, if the borders are not visible, I'll draw them a bit properly. Okay, this is Kenya. Then we have Lake Turkana in Kenya. I'm just demarcating the boundaries for you so that it gets easy for you to visualize these things. Just make sure you don't get confused between the borders. So this is Lake Turkana, done. It's in Kenya. It's a part of Rift Valley Lakes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, Dua. Thank you, Nishita. Okay, so this is Lake Turkana. Then we go to Lake Albert and Lake Edward. These are also part of Rift Valley lakes. These are between, you will find Uganda on one side and Democratic Republic of Congo on the other side. So these are along the border of Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. What is that? Lake Albert and Lake Edward. These are two very important lakes, Lake Albert and Edward. If you get confused between the two because they have a very close location, Uganda and Democratic Republic, then remember, first you have A in the alphabets, then you have E. So Albert will be first and then you will find Edward. Clear? That's about Lake Albert and Edward. Clear about these lakes? Then we will move towards the other lakes, that is Lake Tanganyika. As the name is long, this is the longest lake. Very easy to remember. If the name is too long, Tanganyika, long name. The lake is also very long. It is along the 4 countries. Again, you will find it on the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Then you will have Burundi on the one side, then Zambia on the other side, and Tanzania on this side. There are 4 countries that are associated with this lake, that is Lake Tanganyika. You should know about the countries as well, so that there is a question, as I showed you in the beginning of this series, how UPSC can ask you questions like they asked about the North Sea and the countries that touch the North Sea. You can easily get asked about the countries that touch the Lake Tanganyika or any other lake. That's why I discussed the countries as well. So these are the countries. You will find Democratic Republic of Congo on one side, you will find Tanzania on the other side, then you will have Zambia on the southern side and Burundi on the northern side. So these are the countries that are there associated with the Lake Tanganyika. Then there is one more lake, that is Lake Malawi, or there is one more name for it, that is Nyasa, Nyasa. It's very easy to remember because Malawi is a country that is located in the southern part of African continent, and that is where the Lake Malawi or Nyasa is present. So these are some of the Rift Valley lakes that we discussed. What are the names of the lakes? We started with Lake Turkana, Kenya, then we went to Lake Albert and Edward, that is located along the borders of the Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. Then we went to Lake Tanganyika, that is along the 4 countries, and Lake Malawi. These are the lakes that are associated with the Rift Valley. Now, going forward, before we go forward, this is some of the details as I already told you about these. This is Lake Edward between these countries, Turkana, Tanganyika, and yes, one more point. Lake Tanganyika is the second deepest lake in the world. You know about others. Then we have Lake Malawi. Going forward, we reach to Lake Victoria. Very important lake. It is a very important lake, as you already know. It is important because of some reasons. This is Lake Victoria. Okay, now first look at this map and then observe which are the countries that share it, that touch the Lake Victoria. Don't think about any other thing. First you will find Kenya here, then you will find Uganda on this side, and then you will have Tanzania. There is a very good question that's usually asked by UPC. There is a very important question. We're talking about the lakes. Exactly, Zana. We're talking about the lakes. Rift is not a lake, not a mountain range. Correct. You can get these confusions if you join me in the physical geography course. You will. That's right. So Burundi, Rwanda is not touching Uganda, but Tanzania is. So you will find this area, because these, when you look at a big map, you will find that this area is not that much clear. So don't get confused by this. It is the part of Tanzania. Tanzania starts from here and then goes up to here, and you will find Uganda on this side. So there is no access for Rwanda and Burundi to touch the Lake Victoria. That is why it is shared by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. That is very important, the countries that share with it. Then very important thing, that it is the largest lake. It is the largest lake of Africa. Largest lake of Africa, that is Lake Victoria, and equator will pass through it. You will find that equator passes through Lake Victoria. Very important to know. If there is a question that equator passes through which of the lakes, then you have to answer it's Lake Victoria. These are some of the important points that you need to know about Lake Victoria. And there is one more thing, that it is the source of White Nile. As I already told you, Nile is made up of initially 2 rivers, White Nile and Blue Nile. Blue Nile, what is the source of Blue Nile? Please tell me in the comments. Nice, Zainab, that's good. You have good knowledge. Please tell me about the source of, see, this is the source of White Nile. Lake Victoria is the source of White Nile. Which lake is the source of Blue Nile? I just mentioned it. So which is the source of Blue Nile? Then we come to Lake Kariba. Where is it located? You will find it here along the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia. Okay, you will find Lake Kariba there. It is a man-made lake, first of all. That is artificial lake or the man-made lake. That is along the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. It lies on a river. Well, if you know about the name of the river, you can tell me in the comments. If you don't know, then wait for the moment till we reach to the river portion. So Lake Kariba is along the Zambia and Zimbabwe border, and there is very important thing that you need to know about this. There is a very important or a very famous waterfall that lies along this river, and the name of the waterfall is Victoria Falls. So Lake Kariba. See, when we finished Lake Malawi, that was the end of the Rift Valley lakes. Don't get confused that we are still going for the Rift Valley lakes. That's not the case. Rift Valley thing is already done. After we ended, we started with the Victoria Lake. Victoria Lake, just look at this. Victoria Lake, these are the Rift Valley lakes, but this is not a Rift Valley lake. You can easily get confused here because it is very closely located to these lakes as well, but it is not a Rift Valley lake. Make it sure. Remember that Victoria is not a Rift Valley lake, and so again with Lake Kariba, it is also not. As I already told you, it is a man-made lake, so it is not. Yes, Zainab, that's right. Lake Tana is the source of Blue Nile. Going good. That's very good. Then going forward, we reach to two other lakes. First is Lake Chad. This is again very important because it has been in now. The lake is drying up. It's almost dead. There is nothing left. The water has decreased. So this is in news. You will find about this lake every now and then in the newspapers as well. So remember about this lake, that is Lake Chad. Which are the countries that touch it? You will find Niger, Nigeria. Then you have Chad and Cameroon. N2C2. What's the N2C2? N2 is Niger and Nigeria. Then you have C2, that is Chad and Cameroon. These are the countries that share the Lake Chad. Why is it important again? Because it is drying up. It's drying up very fast. Then we have Lake Volta. This is the lake. It is located in Ghana. Where is it located? Ghana. Now I have a question for you guys. Ghana's coast is known as what type of coast? I taught you it in the previous class. Like we have some coast like Cote d'Ivoire coast is known as the Ivory Coast. Then again we have Liberia coast as the Grain Coast. What was the Ghana coast known as? Tell me in the comments what was this coast known as. I already taught you. So we find Lake Volta there. It is located in Ghana. Is it clear about the lakes then? If you have any questions, then you can ask me so that we can move forward. Now we're going to rivers. If you have anything that you want to ask me in the comments. Gold Coast. Yes, that's right. Your guess is right, Zainab. That's correct. So I think we're good to go. There is no confusion. Mr. AHB, if you have any confusion regarding the lakes or mountain range, I think you need to watch the physical geography as well so that you get a clear idea of how a rift valley is formed, how a block mountain is formed. As I skipped it there, I forgot to mention about the Kilimanjaro mountain. It is a block mountain. I told about the Atlas mountain as a fold mountain. Then about the Kilimanjaro mountain, it's a block mountain. So you will get the difference between the two when you see the physical geography courses. So I think we're good to go. Now we are going towards the rivers. Very important to know about the rivers. So what we are going to do here is name the countries. These are the blue lines that is visible to you are the rivers. So what we are going to do is name the countries that are associated with the rivers. Is it clear? Because there is no naming of the countries, so let us start with that. Starting with the very southernmost, this is the Orange River. If you know about the country, this is South Africa. And what is the name of this country? Namibia. So the Orange River forms a border along the South Africa and Namibia. You can take it as such, which river forms border along which two countries. So this river is forming a border along the Namibia and South Africa. Clear? Then we go to other river, that is River Limpopo. Which are the countries that are going along this? This is South Africa again, this is Botswana, and this is Zimbabwe. Okay, this we have already discussed about the countries. This is Zimbabwe, this is Botswana, and this is South Africa. So this river separates Zimbabwe from South Africa. It can be asked in your exams, Limpopo separates which countries? So it's South Africa and Zimbabwe. And one other important thing that you need to know about is the Tropic of Cancer passes along this. So the river Limpopo cuts Okay, actually I'm going for mapping only on Saturdays. So you can come on Saturdays, 7 o'clock is the time. I'll figure it out if we can arrange more classes, but right now it's only Saturdays. So river Limpopo that we're talking of, it separates the upper part or the Zimbabwe from the South Africa, and Tropic of Capricorn passes along this. And it's very important, remember it, that this river or Limpopo river cuts the Tropic of Capricorn twice. That means it passes through the Tropic of Capricorn twice. If this is visible, you can see it starts like this, cuts the Tropic of Capricorn, and then goes like this and cuts it again, and then goes into the Indian Ocean. Okay, this is how the river proceeds. Then going towards the other river, that is the Zambezi River. Now, which two countries are separated by the Zambezi River? Which two countries lie along the north and the south of the Zambezi River? Very easy. Z1, that is Zambia, and Z2, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, we already discussed, it is separated by Limpopo on the south. Then on the north, it's separated by Zambezi River from the Zambia. Correct. Okay, Nishita, for sure, I'll try and arrange more classes. Just that you mentioned it, I am planning of bringing the MCQs as well. So I'll get more classes. Okay. That's good if you are interested in geography, but make sure that you learn the mapping properly, so that is very important for you. Then figure out what you want as the optional. If you've done the GS portion, then it will be easy for you to figure out your optional. So first get a basic idea of all the subjects and learn about the syllabus as well. When you learn about the syllabus, then you understand what you have to learn, and after that it's easy for you to choose the optional. So do join me for the mapping. We'll be doing the mapping of other continents as well. This is the first continent right now we are doing. I have done the political map of this continent, and now we are doing the physical map of this continent. Now talking of the Zambezi River, this separates the Zimbabwe and Zambia. What was the lake that was present between the two countries that I just mentioned? And the presence of Victoria Falls is here, as I told you. So there was a lake or a man-made, as I mentioned it multiple times, there was a man-made lake that was present here. What is the name of that lake that lies on this river Zambezi? Tell me in the comments. Okay, so shall we move? Going to the next river, that is Congo. This is the another river. What is the Congo River? It passes through, this is Democratic Republic of Congo, and this is Congo, Republic of Congo. These are the two countries. So Congo River separates Democratic Republic of Congo from Congo, or it forms a border between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Congo. Very important thing, as you looked here at Limpopo, it passed or it touched the Tropic of Capricorn twice. This river touches equator twice, or it intersects the equator twice. So equator will pass like this, and this will go on like this, touching it first here and then here. So river Congo touches the equator twice, or it crosses the equator twice. Very important, and this is the deepest river of the world. Very important. Twice by what is the river that crosses the Tropic of Capricorn twice? Limpopo. Then you have another river, that is river Congo, crosses the equator twice, and it is the deepest river in the world. Okay, it is even not navigable because of the deepness and some very rough terrain. It's not possible to do navigation. It's very difficult to do navigation in the Congo River. Is it clear about this? Okay, I'll let you know about that. I'll figure out what can be done. Okay, any other question? If you have any other question, please. Okay, I think it's all good to go. So we're done with the Congo River. Now we'll go to another river, that is Niger. Niger River starts from Guinea. This is Guinea. If you know about the map, it starts from Guinea, then goes into Malawi. This is Malawi. As I told you, how do you recognize this country? This is a M-shaped country. M for Mali. It's not Malawi. My bad. It's Mali. Mali. M for Mali. Huh? Passes through Mali, then goes through Nigeria into this. This is here Niger, and then Nigeria and into the Atlantic. So it goes through these countries. If you are asked, it starts from Guinea, then goes into Mali, Niger, and then eventually into Nigeria and Atlantic Ocean. So these are some of the countries it passes through. There is a very important port that is associated with this, very important port, that is Harcourt. This is a port associated with river Niger. Is it clear? If you have any questions up until now, do let me know. This is about river Niger. Then we go to very important river, that is the Nile River. Okay, let's wait for the Nile River. We'll discuss it in detail. But first, let us get a brief idea of what we have learned up until now. So River Orange, as I told you already, it's a border between South Africa, then goes into Atlantic, Limpopo again. You will find it cuts the Tropic of Capricorn twice. If you don't remember anything, just take a screenshot of this so that you can remember. This is a brief summary of everything that we have learned up until now. Then you have Zambezi, Victoria Falls, and Kariba Dam. As I told you, the Kariba Lake, that was the artificial lake that I already mentioned. Then you have Congo, that is between DRC and Congo, crosses the equator twice. It is the deepest river, I mentioned it already. Then you have River Niger, Port Harcourt, as I already told you. Then going to River Nile. What is so important about the River Nile? What do you think? This is the longest river in the world. River Nile is the longest river in the world. There's a difference between the longest river and the largest river. This is the longest river. Largest river is not Nile, but it is something else. Amazon. Okay. So this is River Nile. As I already told you, it initially starts as two different rivers. First, you will get the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The White Nile, when you look at this, it will start from Lake Victoria. We have already learned about the Lake Victoria. It will start from Lake Victoria and start to travel. And then you will find Blue Nile will start from this lake. What is the name? Lake Tana. So these are the... Thank you. So these start from here, and then the two rivers will start, and eventually they will meet at a place called Khartoum. Tell me the place or the country of which the Khartoum is the capital in the comments. I'll wait for that because I already taught it. Khartoum is the place where the White Nile and the Blue Nile will meet, and then it will travel like this and go into the Mediterranean Sea. There's a very famous lake that I already mentioned, that is Lake Naser. As I already told you in the beginning, that is also present there. There is Aswan Dam as well, and then into the Mediterranean Sea. Tell me the name of the country that Khartoum is in. What is the name of that country? Sudan. Correct Zainab, you are right. And then it will go into the Mediterranean, and there is a port called Alexandria. Alexandria port is associated with River Nile. This is about the River Nile, how it starts. It's important because it's the longest river. Then it starts as Blue and White Nile and goes into a Mediterranean, and the very important, that is Port Alexandria, that is along the River Nile. This is about the River Nile. Then we move to the next river. We're done with the rivers. Now we are going to the grasslands. This as well, right, Nishita? That's correct. This is Africa. Just ignore the other part. When we will reach to these places, then we will discuss those as well. Right now we are going to talk about the Africa only. We will find two very important grasslands here. First is Savannah, and the second one is Welds. What is the difference between the two? It's very simple. If you know about the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, you will find the Tropic of Cancer, then you will find Equator, and eventually you will find Tropic of Capricorn. So the grasslands or anything that lies between these is called tropical. So this is the tropical area. What is the tropical area? Tropical area is any area that lies between the tropics. That is the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. So it is understood that Savannah is a tropical grassland. Savannah is a tropical grassland. And when we talk of the Welds, because it lies beyond the Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn ends here. It lies beyond the Tropic of Capricorn. The Welds is a temperate grassland. Is it clear between the tropical grassland and the temperate grassland? Now, it is along many countries, but Welds is mostly located in South Africa. Savannas is present in many countries of Africa, but Welds you will find in South Africa only. Now, what is the difference between the two? In these regions, as you know, in the tropics, you have good abundant amount of sunlight. So the grasses here can grow to greater lengths. So there is a famous grass called Elephanta. Elephanta grass is present in the savannas. Why is the name Elephanta? As the elephant is very huge, the grass is also very tall. That is correct, Doa. Because of the Elephanta, because of the name Elephanta, because it is very huge or very tall. That is about the savanna and the velds. That is about some of the very important physical features of the African continent. Now that we are done with this, so I would like to ask you a few questions. Please, I hope that you answer me, because the questions are only from the lecture that we are done today. I would expect everybody to answer, so that I would feel that yes, you will learn something. Which of the following is a tropical grassland? I just mentioned it. Tropical grassland that lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Now, you might as well say, sir, we don't know about the pampas. I didn't teach about the pampas and the velds. I talk about where, these two. So how can you guess about the others? But this very honest. If the answer is only one, you can choose easily which one is the tropical grassland. Veld is not. It is located in South Africa. So this answer goes. Then pampas is located in Argentina. It's not also the answer. Prairies in North America is not again the answer. The answer is savanna. Nishita, you are right. Dua correct. Mr. AHB, good. Going good. This is the reaction I was expecting. Thank you, Zainab. That's good. Very good. So the next question, which river acts as a border between Zambia and Zimbabwe? Which river? Answer me in the comments quickly. I mentioned there Z1, Z2. Then there is a river. Congo is not there because it is along the equator. Zambezi. Correct, Zainab. You are right. What is the location of other rivers? Congo along the equator. Limpopo crosses the Tropic of Capricorn twice. And then you have Nile, and Nile is not there because it's in the northern part. Dua Khan, you are right. Zambezi is the right answer. Let's move to the next question. The highest mountain in Africa. Right, Mr. C. That's correct. Highest mountain in Africa. What do you think? Mount Kenya, Kilimanjaro. These two are not there because I didn't mention anything about their height. So these two are definitely not the answer. It is between these two. It's either Kilimanjaro or Mount Kenya. So what do you think is the answer? As I already told you, this is an extinct volcano. This Mount Kenya is the... Yes, Zainab, you are right. This is the second highest peak. I mentioned it there. This is the second highest peak, and Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest peak of Africa. That's correct. Correct, AHB. Mr. AHB, you are right. Mr. AHB, what's your name? If that's okay, you can tell me in the comments what's your name so that I can speak more comfortably. Then talking of the Bushman tribe, it is a famous tribe. In which desert is it mostly found? Where will you find the Bushman tribe? Tell me in the comments. Question number 4. Where will you find the Bushman tribe? What is the answer? Sahara, Namib, Kalahari, Nubian. Nishita C. Nishita C for which question? Mention the question number as well, because you can find C's here and here as well. By the way, Zainab, you are right. Altaf Hussain Beg. Okay, that's good. Okay, Altaf, thank you for the name. And the answer is Kalahari Desert. That is your answer for Bushman tribes are found in the Kalahari Desert. And this is Kilimanjaro. For that question, I hope I'm not able to figure out. Nishita, you are answering this question or this question. Please mention the question number as well. So Bushman tribe are found in Kalahari Desert. Again, Sahara lies in the northern part of Africa. Namib Desert is located in Namibia, and Nubian Desert is located in Sudan. So that is the answer of that question. Then going to question number 5, equator passes through which lake? Answer me quickly. Equator passes through which lake? Lake Nyasa. What is the other name of Lake Nyasa? You can tell me in the comments as well along with the answer. Lake Victoria, right, Zainab, that is correct. Lake Edward and Great Bitter Lake. This is located in the Suez. This is a Rift Valley Lake. And Lake Nyasa, what is the other name of Rift Valley Lake? What is the other name of Lake Nyasa? Please tell me in the comments. So Lake Victoria is the correct answer. So that is about the questions that I already brought for you. So if you like the lecture, do like, share, subscribe. And if you're preparing for UPSC, Unacademy gives you the courses for just 24,999, where you will get the courses in all the languages, be it English, bilingual or Hindi. You will get the courses there as well. Okay, Nishita, that's correct. So that is all for today's class. We have done every important thing. Lake Tanganyika. Zainab, it is Lake Malawi. Okay. So that is about the today's class. I hope you learned something from today's class. That is entire physical part of the Africa. We have done all the lakes, rivers and the mountains. In the next class, we'll bring some different continent. If you need any kind of improvement or something in the lectures, because our lectures are mainly concerned about the identification of the places, and we're not discussing in detail what is the use or that you can read from the books. I am bringing you only that portion that you cannot learn from the books. That is why I restrict my lectures to only recognizing the places and understanding the basic location of these places, in order to help you recognize whenever you find a newspaper and understand these news, you can easily get it in your mind from which place this news is. That is the main purpose of today's lecture. So I hope you like today's lecture. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, Nishita, thank you, Dua, thank you, Zainab, for being a part of this lecture. It was very good. Thank you very much, friends. See you next time. Bye bye.